Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. We are back in the forest and I will take you for a walk, so prepare yourself, get yourself ready, and if you can, go outside, put your headphones on and let's go. Let's go my friends. I have an important topic to talk about and the name of this video is It's Over. So what it means? What's over? So my friends, we come to a point in our lives where we say, well, it's over. I will stop living my life that way. You see the world around you. Everything is shifting and you are still living in your past, right? We see everything is changing. We've heard about bank systems collapsing. We've heard about all kinds of crises and everything, but we don't hear, there's not much talk about what's rising. There's not much talk about what are the positive things that are rising out of this sort of a chaos. But there's many positive things if we just turn our attention around. There's a beautiful saying by Tony Robbins. He says that we don't experience life, we experience what we focus on. And I love to read books, for example. So often I read books about the evolution of neuroscience, for example. I read books about new psychology, practical psychology, energy psychology, and you can find books on epigenetics, and there's many great books about what's the solution to present crisis, and that actually every solution is already present within all of us, and the solution is to train your skills, to become more skillful in what you love to do the most, because that's how you will stay motivated to become the best at what you love to do. But we need to say it's over when it comes to how we are living our lives or how we used to live our lives, so we can decide, well, I'm ready for who I'm meant to be. I'm ready for the life of my dreams, right? Because it's hard for many of us, especially when we look around and what's happening, right? What's going on, all the information, and we might think all that information is kind of informing us because that's what information is for, right? But most of the things that are coming out are just distracting us. Because what I do, because sometimes I get a bit disturbed with everything that's going on, like what to believe. But then I ask my feeling, and feeling always tells me that don't worry so much about that because most of those things are not even real. I just have a feeling that something great is emerging. I have this feeling for a long time, and actually before 2 or 3 years before COVID happened, I had a feeling that I need to become completely independent, financially independent from any external job or anything. I need to become independent from anything so I can live wherever I want and I can do what I love to do the most. I felt that about 3 years before COVID happened. So I started working on that really hard back at that time. And then things started happening and I said, well, I'm grateful that I followed my heart. And till today, I'm truly grateful. But the thing is, we all have that feeling. We all have that feeling, that sensation that says to us, well, it's over. It's over. I just don't want to do things unconsciously anymore. I want to become aware, right? I want to recognize what's my calling. Because you are being called to do something, have you noticed that, like, most probably, if not before, at least 1 year ago, you've started noticing that something within you is kind of calling you not just for change? Because, okay, change is, it's not really easy, but it's still not so complicated when it comes to change in diet. Well, if we stay consistent, everything becomes easy. But when it comes to a deep calling, like, okay, I'm deeply unsatisfied with my life, and suddenly I know what I want to do, or better said, I know what I need to do. Suddenly I need to initiate that. Do you feel like that? Because sometimes people write me, I just don't know what I want to do in my life. So it's never true. This saying is never true. You may say, well, I don't know what I want to do. But if you would look your life, and you may notice that there's many things, many aspects you're not taking care of, because you may feel a lack of energy, you may feel lazy, or you may feel stuck. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you want to do. You know what you need to do, and you don't do anything about it. So it's much easier to say, I don't know what I want to do, than actually reflecting on what we don't like about our lives, and we focus on the solutions. So it is sometimes tough to hear, but it's real, that's the truth. And truth is sometimes unpleasant, but it's eye-opening, because, you know, it's completely okay to accept the idea that we are unsatisfied, and that we say, well, it's time to make some changes. But it's a responsibility, because we need to stay consistent to a new lifestyle, and it's not easy, because we are going against the program, right? Against the program of our body. So we need to accept this responsibility as something we must do, because once we decide, okay, I must do that in order to experience the change, everything will start to make sense. Okay, if I truly want to do that, I must do it, and if I must do it, I'm sure I can do it. And then here and there we need a reset button, right? We say it's over for my worries. Even though I will still feel them here and there, I will not fall into a victimhood. I will not be a victim of my worries. Those are my programs, my subconscious thoughts. Okay, I accept you, okay, but let's move on, right? So, my friends, your future self is saying to you, it's over for being where you are, because something greater is waiting you, right? But it will not happen by itself. You are the one that will make it happen. So you need to recognize that you are the person you've been waiting for all that time, right? You're the person you've been waiting for. I remember when I started my art journey, and at the beginning I was so excited because I thought I will meet someone who will introduce me to a certain gallery, and that's where I will sell my art, and I will become really, really rich and things like that. I had those ideas, I was visualizing things like that. And then I met a mentor who introduced me to a gallery, and I had my first art exhibition there. But it was not like I imagined. I thought that then everything will just, go on after that. But what I've learned is that it actually all depends on me, and what are my real hard desires. Because, yeah, well, it's okay to sell my art, but I'm more interested about growth. I'm more interested like what kind of impact I can make with my art. So I've noticed that life is guiding me into a bit different direction. Because, well, if I just sell my art, it will not make much change on the world. But if I use my art as a vehicle of a message here in my videos, it might be a bit more impactful, if that's the word. So life guided me to here, and that's why I know that there's an inner mechanism that with which we've been born with, and many people have lost that connection with that inner mechanism, but it doesn't mean that it's not there anymore. So we need to say it's over when it comes to living unconsciously, so we can become a bit more conscious, and we can ask ourselves, well, how much I'm living my life intentionally? How much I'm living my life intentionally? And what it means? What it means? Well, if my intention is to become wealthy so I can help people around me, why my habits are poor, right? If my intention is to be healthy, why my diet is not reflecting that? Why my mindset is not reflecting that? Because it takes work, right? It takes effort. But we need to remind ourselves that for that, a certain level of discipline is required. And we need to decide between, like Jim Rohn said, between the pain of the discipline or the pain of regret, right? We need to decide. Because if we don't build discipline around how we choose to live our lives, we will face with the pain of regret. Because we all have dreams to follow. Do you have dreams to follow? I know you do. And I know that in this time, it's not just a dream anymore. In this time, it's not like, oh, I just want to be financially free. Oh, I want to travel. It's not like that anymore. Why? Because the world is shifting. It's not just, I want those things. Right now, many of you feel like, I want to serve. I see people are suffering. Just an hour ago, I was meeting with my mother, and we had that beautiful conversation, and she said some things about my brother, who's 10 years younger than me. Like when she's seeing his friends, she was concerned, like, those young people, they have completely lost the connection with nature. Like they don't even feel I need to go outside, and they're not really, they have no kind of an empathy and compassion like you would expect from young people. Like that's a completely new generation. And when we see that, we just feel like, yeah, it's because the system is not educating these kids about what's important, right? I know for myself, nobody taught me the things that I'm talking about here, so I needed to learn that by myself. And many of you needed to learn many, many things by yourself because nobody taught you that. How to emotionally regulate yourself, right? How to build up your energy, how to strengthen your energy, like strengthen your or build up your emotional strength. Because every single day we are exposed to something stressful, to something heavy. How to cope with that? Have anybody taught you how to cope with all of that, right? And then how to shift your mindset? Because if you don't change your mindset, your self-image, you will just stay the same. Doesn't matter how hard you try something. If you don't shift your identity about who you are becoming, you will become the same or even worse. Nobody is saying or telling to us how to make those changes. So we need to teach that, we need to learn by ourselves. And once we learn what truly works, we just feel called to help others, right? So it's completely okay if you have a dream, like, yeah, I want to travel, I want to have those things, it's nothing wrong with that. That's how we turn our lives into an adventure. That's perfect. That's how we learn and grow. But still something within you is calling you to serve, to help, to provide, to give, to do whatever can help people around you. Because we are, at the end of the day, social creatures which can't function if you would be just alone there, right? That's why there's many of us to exchange ideas, resources, help, inspiration, energy, anything, right? That's what makes everything so beautiful, because nothing helps. Or like, what's the point if you're completely financially free but you have no one to share that abundance with, right? So we need to remind ourselves of the importance of life, of richness of life, right? Because that's the real wealth, right? Firstly, health is wealth, and then being joyful is real abundance. Because when we are joyful, we are inspired. When we are inspired, we are creative. When we are creative, we have access to abundance of ideas. And when we have access to abundance of ideas, we'll find a way to make anything happen. And if we can find a way to make anything happen, we may get a dream to create a life of any kind of abundance, and we will make it happen. So it all starts with the health and richness of joy, right? And it means that we need to make our lives joyful as possible. And you need to ask yourself, what makes you joyful, right? And if you're not joyful, you need to say to yourself, well, it's over because I'm ready for something new. And you need to know for what you're ready, right? You need to remind yourself for what you're getting ready. You need to make a plan. If you don't know what that is, you need to write it down, who you want to become, right? Are you reminding yourself that? So for me, when I wake up, I have that like a sacred block where I write in short affirmations of who I am becoming, about everything, how healthy I am, how inspired I am, how wealthy I am, everything, how much money I make, with what kind of people I'm connecting, everything. We are the creators, you are the alchemists, you can turn things into gold, my friends. So what it means? Well, in alchemy is a science of transformation. It doesn't mean that you turn any metal, you take any metal and transform it into gold. It's just a symbol. It's a symbol for taking whatever and transform it into its greatest potential. And that's you. So you've been born here at the first place to transform yourself into the greatest possible potential you can be. And today you don't know what it means. But because every single day you have an opportunity to try to become a bit better at whatever you choose, you are eventually becoming more familiar with the real meaning of those words. And that is powerful, because life is not about reaching our goals, but the journey we are walking on towards them, because that's where we learn. That's what provides us growth. And what they say, we only live until we grow. Once we stop growing, we start dying. And that is life. As long as we are aware of that, we will be searching for solutions. So we will say, well, it's over. It's over for all that chaos and whatever, because I'm the creator of my life. So if I'm the creator of my life, the question is where I'm placing all that creative force that is available to me. On my problems? On what's falling apart? Or am I actually focusing on the solutions that are present for myself? Well, you want to expand your or increase your income. Well, there's many opportunities, right? Many people wrote, I'm reading comments of you from you every single day, and I've seen many people wrote, I want to change my job. And that's great, knowing that. That's great. Sometimes I talk with people and I ask them, what do you want to, like, what would be your dream job? And they start to think like, oh, I don't know, like, maybe I would do this and that. But then I ask them, well, what if there would be no limits? What would you do? And then I know immediately. So why is that? Because we are so deeply programmed with this limiting belief that only this and this and this is possible. Everything else is not in my access. And that is a big lie. A big lie. Because we don't know what we don't know. Right? And then we start studying and we recognize how little we know. Right? You study the ancient Greek philosophy, you come to Socrates and he will tell you, well, the wisdom of life is to know that you know nothing. And then you start studying the subject of, let's say, something you love to do, and you recognize, well, I truly don't know nothing. And you get inspired for learning, right? And suddenly you start learning and you find so many options to make your life really amazing. So you may stay focused on everything that's falling apart, or you may say, well, it's over, it's time to redirect my attention. It's over for my old self because the new self is emerging, and that's me right here, right now. So it's over for your old self, because the new self has just been born. My friends, this is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this beautiful walk. We are at a beautiful time right now. We have some wind, and wind is again that nature's help that blows away everything that doesn't serve you anymore. So when you will be next time out on the wind, like, put out your hands and say, well, I release everything and anything that doesn't serve me anymore. Let it blow it away. Let it go. Because there's so much to look up for. So my friends, till next time, I'm sending you lots of love, blessings and power. Stay beautiful, stay magnificent, stay creative. And thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop. I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. We are running some fresh new sales, so go there and check it out. My friends, one love.